also prescribe certain Qi Gong moves for certain meridians that you're working with. Back to the top of the conversation when we was talking about liver excess, there's a Qi Gong move for that, for the excess liver. Yeah, so there's a healing sound that's like shoo.
Right. That was nice, wasn't it?
That was lovely.
Thank you, Tarze. And
That's
welcome.
right.
It's lovely having you here.
Oh, listen, happy to be here. We've been talking about this for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
And finally.
Yeah, even on the street, we've been talking about
even on the street outside the shop.
So, yeah, it's so great. It's so great to get you here. Because, you know, as you know, I've been doing Qigong with you pre-COVID, actually, isn't it?
Pre-COVID. Yeah.
So yeah, and it's quite nice because there's not much of that here in Nottingham. So to have that available, it's great. But before we start talking about Qigong and how fantastic it is, can you tell us about yourself and like where you're from and what you do and basically where you do it and how did you get into it, sort of thing, into this sort of field?
Okay. So, I could spend an hour talking about my legacy, but so born and raised in Nottingham, Jamaican heritage, Jamaican parents, and for me, they're just such an inspiration because when you think about it, they left the country and came here. So at the time, you think about it, there's no internet, there's no broadband. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing that gives them an insight of what it's going to be like when they land. So for me, they're like just great pioneers and entrepreneurs, and you know, they say walking the path that no one has walked before. Can you imagine just doing that? Like, so yeah, they've always been my inspiration because it's like, if you want something done, just get it done and do it. So in terms of me, well, like I said, born and raised in Nottingham, spent a few years in London, which was an experience in and of itself. But I did end up going back to London, and that's how I started my spiritual journey. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I've always wanted to do something with regards health. So I set up my business about 7 years ago now. So 7 years in January. So still going.
In this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, still going. So I've always been into health. I've always been into meditation, deep breathing, exercise. Think of any exercise, name it, I've done it. From boxing to circuit training, Zumba, Reebok step. Remember that back in the day? So I've always been into fitness. But what changed for me, I was like, I want something else. I started with Tai Chi. So that was like something really beautiful that I did. But then what happened was I woke up one morning and my eyes were blood red. So I was like, oh, interesting. Didn't know what it was. At the time, all my work colleagues were being really helpful. They were like, oh, get these eye drops. You can get these eye drops from Boots. They help. I'm okay. Went to the doctor. They were like, don't know, but take this. So this persisted for a little while. And then I was in Vic Centre at the time, and upstairs in Vic Centre at the time, they don't have it now. They had like a traditional Chinese medicine shop. So I went in there and I walked in. The minute I walked through the door, the guy was like, you're generating too much liver yang. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, take these, come back in 2 weeks. And he said, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. He's like, you must be doing something. And I was like, I still don't know. So he's like, okay, take these, come back in 2 weeks, have a look at what you're doing. So for the next 2 weeks, I literally plotted everything I did. So everything I ate, everything I drank, my sleeping patterns, my waking up patterns, what I did for work, what I had for lunch, who I was interacting with, everything. And then, like I said, I was doing Tai Chi. So, and then so I asked my instructor, like, okay, so what style are we doing? And he's like, oh, we're doing Yang style. So my training was like 2 or 3 sessions a week, and it was always like from 7 o'clock onwards. So when you think about it in terms of the natural body clock, like the circadian rhythm, I was training 7 till 8, 7 till 9. So that's 2 hours, 3 times a week, yang style.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you only meant to do it at a certain time?
Well, no, I was working in opposite to what the circadian rhythm was, which is like the body cools down in the evening, doesn't warm up in the evening. The body cools down in the evening. So when I went back to the TCM practitioner, he was like, I said, oh, this is what I think it is. He said, I've been doing Tai Chi and doing Yang style at night. And he says, yeah, that's going to raise your liver Qi. Right? Should be calling it, because it was the amount of time and for how long I was doing it as well. If it was just like a one-off, then fine. But 3 nights a week, 2-hour session, it's quite long. Yeah. So that was the start of the journey. So then I went back to my instructor. I was like, oh, figured it out why my eyes are blood red. And he said, oh, because I'm generating too much liver yang. And he kind of just looked at me and went, and I was like, okay, well, you're supposed to know this. And he was like, well, you can't believe everything that you hear. And I was like, I'm not sure that's true, but okay. So that's what started me kind of exploring and looking into traditional Chinese medicine more, looking at the meridians, just really trying to get an explanation of my own health. And then I discovered that practice is literally a 3,000-year-old system, traditional Chinese medicine. And they've got the evidence and the scriptures and the writings to literally prove everything they say. So it kind of corroborated what my experience was in terms of my introduction to my liver yang being totally excessive. So once I knew that, and once I realized there was actually a proper system behind it, that's when I got really interested in Qi Gong.
Wow. That's quite a story that you had to get kind of like a bad experience to learn more about it, because like anything, if it's taught incorrectly, it can be quite detrimental, can't it, to your health?
Yeah. And it's about also the journey. The beautiful journey was like knowing who to speak to and who actually understands this, because, and I guess we'll come on to this in a little bit, but the thing is about sometimes people see something new and they want to jump on the bandwagon and do it and promote it and teach it, but then you realize, like, what's the substance behind it? So I'm always about, how does it work? Does it work for me? I'm my own little scientist, because I will test it and say, okay, this is what Qi Gong does for me. Oh, these are what happens after I do Qi Gong, So so I found a wonderful teacher in London, Dr. Napata, and he's been doing Qi Gong, God knows, for about 50 years. So the Qi Gong that I teach is part of his legacy as well.
Wow. Amazing story, Tarze. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
As well as Qi Gong, you said you study meridians and stuff, because I know you do Tuina massage as well, which is the kind of acupressure of the meridian points. Maybe I'm explaining that incorrectly, but so you've kind of really explored the whole of the TCM, if you know what I mean, how it works and stuff. Would you say you started that first, or was it Qi Gong that started first for you, or was it Tai Chi?
It was Tai Chi, Qi Gong, and then Tuina. So this is where the Qi Gong helped give me foundation in learning. So that was my first introduction. Like I said, I'd never heard of liver yang before that day. So that was my introduction to this whole new system. And then so years later, shout out to Touch Tuina, Errol and Mariana. That's when I discovered Tuina, because it absolutely complemented the work that I was doing on myself. Yeah. And then to find out that there was another system out there. So even before Tuina, let's not miss this out, I was doing Swedish massage. Okay. Yeah. So for me, it was always about, if you're healing, you have to be a healer. So then I have to make sure that my energy is clean and straight and everything as well. Yeah. And that's the work I was doing anyway, because that's what I was into. So then when I started the Swedish massage, which was really lovely, had some really beautiful clients, and it was a really nice system to do. But then as the years went by, my clientele the conditions that my clients had were becoming more and more challenging. And it was disappointing for me that I was helping to massage them, which did bring some relief, but didn't help relieve their main problems. So they come to me, they would feel nice for a day or two, but then that problem would still persist. And I felt bad because I'm like, I'm taking their money, they're coming to me for healing, I can't heal them, you know, what's going on? So again, like you said, it's like there's a problem and then I have to find a solution. So like the problem with my eyes, then I have to find a solution. So that's what led me into Tweenar, because I was thinking, I need something. I really need something that can really help them. Because I was getting all the ones that, you know, they've been to the doctor, they've been to the physiotherapist, they've had their injections. And then at the point where they're getting told, well, I can't help you, it must be neurotic. You know, but it really wasn't. So, and yeah, so I was like, oh no, I have to help them. And that's when I found Touch Tweenar. So I did their training course, which was lovely again, because that meant spending lots and lots of time in London, seeing lots and lots of clients, you know, really good therapeutic treatment, lots of hands-on. Errol is an absolute genius, and Mariana as well. They, both of them just know so much, you know, and when they're teaching you, you have to be there in person. It's not anything you can get from a book, okay? You just get so much from being with them. So I learned a lot, and I was fortunate enough to also be in London for a little while and, you know, do some days down there where we could do training and have hands-on, like real clients, and get that real experience and tutelage. So again, I had a really good foundation and a really good grounding, and then was one of the first people to bring Tweenar back to Nottingham.
Yes, yeah, it is. I mean, I discovered Tweenar when I lived in Walthamstow. And there was a Chinese health center there, and I'd go and I discovered it, and there was a specialist from China.
Yes,
he was amazing, absolutely. And when I first had it, I was just like, wow,
yeah,
you know. And that's when I started to discover about meridians as well. You know, it's quite amazing. Would you say that it's similar to Ayurveda? It's not one size fits all. It's very much customized.
Yeah, very much. Obviously, like when you're training, there's like standard routines, but you don't have to stick with them. What you're looking at is for the, you know, the disharmony in the body, because you want to bring balance to the body. So yes, you know, every massage therapy will have its standard, but that's what I like about Tweenar, in the sense that you can go off script, not because you're going rogue, but because you can see that there's a pathology, a disharmony that needs fixing for that person to regain harmony and balance. And this is why the training is so fundamental, once you know the different routines and the different moves and what they do, then you can piece that together like a jigsaw puzzle and make it work for that person. So that's the beauty of it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of people that run from Tweenar because they say, "Oh my God, it's so intensive and it's so painful." And yeah, I've got a funny story as well. Actually, one of my friends, she trained in Tweenar. She's moved to the States now, but she was like, "Oh, I'm doing this new massage course. Would you like to be one of my bodies?" And all I heard was massage.
Oh,
so I was like, "Yeah, sure." Get to her house now, start taking my clothes off. She's like, "No. You don't need to do anything like that." I'm like, okay, kind of new massage. And so what she did was she was doing my shoulders and my arms and my hands. When I say, Babita, I've never felt so roughed up in my life. I was like, what kind of massage is this? She roughed me up. And I was like, oh gosh. But why I knew it worked, again, becoming your own little scientist, is back in the day, I used to play the violin, and I had a performance the following week. And I swear to God, my arms, hands, and fingers have never felt so loose. And the action, and you know this because you used to play the guitar, that the action was just so quick and precise because she had worked all the meridians in my arms and in my fingers. And I was like, again, proof this thing really works. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it can be painful. I've had your massage. I I'll edit that bit out. I'll cut that bit out.
No, that's fine. Keep it in because people. But I will say,
I think it's meant to though, because obviously it's blockage, isn't it? It's same with what the acupuncture does. You know, it's just doing it with pressure. It's bound to hurt. You know, in that sense.
Well, that's what I was about to say, darling. It's not me, it's you.
Okay.
Yeah. Because after a while, what people feel is pressure. They don't feel the pain. So once that stagnation and that blockage and that disharmony has been removed, people still feel the pressure, but it doesn't feel painful. The painful is everything that's gotten stuck and stagnated in that meridian or in that muscle. Yeah.
Mm. And you could say with Qi Gong, with the moves and stuff, it gets that meridian flow going as well, doesn't it? The Qi with the moves and the breathwork and that. You know.
I am so grateful that I've literally learned all of this, because Qi Gong, acupuncture, acupressure, tweener, do you know what I mean? It's like a beautiful relationship. Like you're swiping right on all of this. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just such a beautiful combination, and they all complement each other so much. So you can have them all, or just have two, or just have one. Like they all work so well. So with the tweener and the Qi Gong, like the tweener is me fixing you. Yeah. Come to me. One session, you're going to be great. If it's something deeper, 3 or 4 sessions, I'm going to fix you. Or you just come for maintenance because you know that tweener rocks and that's the one that you want. Do you know what I mean? But then what you do in your own time or in between treatments is the Qi Gong. Because the Qi Gong is like the icing on the cake that you can do. And I can also prescribe certain Qi Gong moves for certain meridians that you're working with. Back to the top of the conversation when we was talking about liver excess. There's a Qi Gong move for that, for the excess liver. Yeah. So there's a healing sound that's like shoo. And that's what you would do to remove some of the excess from that particular organ energy system.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're going to talk about signs and Qi Gong and organs connection and that. It's just beautiful. It's just, I absolutely love Qi Gong. And the reason why I wanted to do this interview with you is because no one is 2026. No one knows what Qi Gong is, you know, which leads to what is Qi Gong?
Like I've said, Qi Gong is about bringing that harmony to the balance. If you look at what it means, that Qi, there's many ways to describe it. So you could say Qi is your life force, your energy system, or you could say that raw force or kundalini. Yeah, so there's different ways to describe it. And that gong just means to say like deep study. So that deep study of your energy, that life force, it's a way of life, essentially, you know, because it's that which keeps you alive. You understand? Yeah. So it's how do we get that to harmonize? How do we get that to balance? And I'm not an expert in feng shui, but it also ties into that as well. So you may know somebody else who you can speak to in more detail about that, but it ties into that as well. So yeah, for me, in simple terms, Qi Gong is just about balancing your energy, balancing your organ energy systems. Why? Because you want that longevity of life. You want that ability, and not just that physical ability, it's that mental, you know, sociological ability as well that you have. You know, to be warm of heart, to be kind, all that is tied into your organ energy systems as well. Yeah.
And is it originally from China? Is that where it came from?
Yes, it's originally from China. So we're talking like I said, over 3,000-year-old system. Yeah. But other cultures will practice their different ways of harmonizing the energy.
Yeah, because like when you mentioned tweener Japanese, there's a shiatsu, which I've had as well in London, which amazing. It's just, it's amazing how it's all across the East, and it's just so beautiful, honestly. And I wanted to as well ask you about like, what would you say the key benefits are of Qi Gong?
There's so many. If we start with, so like if I was doing the Qi Gong practice, we'd start with breathing.
Right. Yeah.
breathing is fundamental. We know that generally you can't survive without it for 3 or 4 minutes. So it's an essential part of life. So for me, the breathing gives you that stability of mind, that clarity of mind, that peaceful heart, and also that ability to function in times of stress or challenge. Yeah. Because you find that when there is stress or challenge, the first thing to go is your breath. Meaning that if you look at when people are in a panic mode, the breath is in their chest, isn't it? Yeah, or hyperventilating. So when you have that Qi Gong stability, and sometimes you can call it meneb, which is called stability of heart, that you're able to function through those difficulties. So that's one way of looking at it. It also oxygenates your organ energy systems better. One of your biggest organs is your brain. Your brain takes up a lot of oxygen, more so than what's in your lungs. So your brain needs a lot of oxygen as well. Why? To help your memory, to help your cognition, all that sort of stuff that goes into it. So Qigong, just from the breath point of view, is absolutely fundamental and essential. Now, when you're thinking about the particular moves of Qigong, again, like we said about the liver Qigong, we had the liver healing sound. You can use that sound to purify excesses, because what happens is you have an excess in that liver energy, let's say, but it will also manifest sociologically. So if you have a liver excess, you may be prone to irritability, anger, easily upset. In Nottingham, we say you're just mardy, right? You're just mardy. Mardy. Yeah, exactly. So you look at and then those things are now going to affect your relationships with other people. No one wants to be around anybody who's angry and irritable all the time, do they? No, it's a turn off, right? So once you balance that energy, that's then going to help you have better relationships with people. Yeah. Liver meridian is also responsible for your imagination, how your imagination flows as well. So if you're using your imagination, we're not just talking about daydreaming. It's about seeing problems, working them through, finding solutions. Yeah. So you can see that Qigong becomes an integral part of your life, not just your daily life, but your working life, how you harmonize with your friends, family, or in your relationships as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's great.
Oh, that's beautiful. And do you have to be physically flexible and to do Qigong, and is it restricted to certain ages and physical limitations and stuff like that? Or?
No, it's great. Anybody can do it. And that's another reason why I like it. Because like I said, I've done every exercise now, but me to do an hour Zumba's class, you got no chance. You got no chance, mate.
Yeah.
Again.
What I love about your classes, and I've noticed the flow, because you mentioned breathing. I noticed we always start with breath work, and then we do the tapping flow to get things moving, and then there's an order, as you say, before you start doing the moves to help it flow easily. Just wanted to bring that in with sort of like the kind of, like you said, the form of Qigong and how you start it, rather than just going straight into the moves.
Yeah. And I think that's a habit that I think we get into. I think when a new system comes into play, people just want to. I need to learn the moves. I've got to do the moves, and you've got to settle your energy first. So this is why you've got to breathe, because you've got to ground yourself first, because the healing comes from within. But if you're just about, I've got to do the moves, then that's just all becomes very external, and you just totally miss the point, and you're not going to get the healing from it.
Because you can feel the energy between your hands when you're doing the moves. When you're moving and you're moving it like that, you can actually, like I said, there's moves where you give yourself that healing energy as well.
But you settle into your spirit first. So if you're externalized, if you just think, it's just about me doing these moves, don't I look great?
Yeah.
Yeah. But once because when we do the breathing, the whole atmosphere in the room changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody comes in. Yeah, I had a great day. Everyone's talking, chatting. Yeah, okay. 5 minutes breathing.
Yeah, honestly, it's so underrated. It's so underrated, yeah. And it's actually the hardest part as well, because I struggle, like when you do that breathing, you're breathing out and holding breathing out. It's like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's a few different breathing patterns, but the first bit is just trying to get people to breathe. When you look at people breathing, people either breathe from their chest quite now. People like open mouth breathing. That's another issue all by itself. So the thing is to try to get people to sink that breath into the lower abdomen.
The problem with the open mouth breathing is I've been to classes where they don't tell you how to breathe. Like, I mean, yours is different. You always say breathe through your nose, but I've been to so many classes where they just say breathe in, breathe out, and I've had to ask, do I breathe out through my mouth or do I breathe out through my nose? And I think this is key as well, and that's why I think we struggle with it, because we just don't know. We're just normal. We're just used to breathing out through our mouth. Do you know what I mean? And, we wouldn't think, oh, I've got to use my nose as well. I know it's so basic, but it's just.
But there's different breathing protocols. I don't know if I showed you guys. It's the like you've got the SOS breathing protocol. So that's what you use if you're in like times of just stress. Like it's all just hit the fan. You're in a panic. You don't know what to do. You need to calm yourself down instantly. With that one, you would breathe out through the mouth. So this is a really nice one. So you would take a deep breath in, then a sharp breath in to fill the top of the lungs, and then open your mouth and let it out slowly. And you'd repeat that a few times until that energy dissipated. So it's a breath in.
Yeah, that's actually quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't do more of it. It's lovely.
But that's a really nice one, especially when, like I said, there's people feel under pressure, a lot of stress. Do that for 10 minutes, you'll be good to go.
So it's breathe in, hold, breathe in,
hold. No hold. So breathe in, sharp breath in to fill the lungs.
Through the nose?
Out slowly. Yeah.
And then out.
Into the nose, out through the mouth.
And then out slowly.
Yeah. So in again, sharp breath, and then out slowly. Through the mouth.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. Thank you.
Yes.
So what's the difference between Qi Gong, Tai Chi, and Qi Gong and yoga? Are they all the same? Do they have the same system, or are they quite different?
Again, each have their different healing modalities from where they come from. So they all have an extreme benefit. But Qi Gong is like the mother and father to Tai Chi.
Okay.
Yoga, as we know, is another Eastern system, which is superb. But what I'm starting to see is where people are saying, "Oh, yoga and Qigong are exactly the same," and it's like, no, they're not. They are both supreme systems, and they both do complement each other. Like you can do yoga and you can do Qigong, but you can't say that they're exactly the same.
No, they're very different. I find that Qigong works with the biofield a bit more as well. I like to do my, like the sun salutations in the morning and stuff. But then afterwards, I like to do a bit of Qigong as well. And I find that the movement, it just flows nicely afterwards as well. But obviously very separate. Do it separate.
But again, very complementary, because I do yoga in the morning, and fantastic yoga school here in Nottingham, the yoga place. And
I've heard about
just
that.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
really good.
Things I've heard about the teacher. I've heard he's really zen.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, I think someone else mentioned that. It's lovely, and it's just down the road as well for me. So.
No, Tim is great, and the way he teaches is fantastic. And one of the things, and I will really say, because I've done, like I said, I've done everything, and I've done yoga in different places. But I haven't done everywhere. But one thing I like about the yoga place is that Tim always says, go within the range of what your body can do. Don't extend. Don't force yourself into positions. Otherwise, you don't get the benefit. Yeah, which is absolutely true. Because again, we're always testing ourselves. So you go a bit further and you think, oh, so you put yourself out of balance. So that energy isn't flowing like it should be, because you've gone to an extreme that isn't for you. And that's one of the things he continually says when he's teaching. So yeah, it's really nice.
I remember when I lived in London, I went to a yoga class in Covent Garden, and the instructor said, "Right now, I want you to lift your leg and put it behind your neck." And I was like, "What?"
How far did you get?
Well, it wasn't happening. I couldn't do that. I'm like, what? Yeah. So yeah, I guess it depends on the teacher, doesn't it, and everything. Yeah. That's brilliant. And how long would you say it takes to kind of master Qi Gong?
It's just practice, like yoga. You know, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. If you don't do it that often, then you know it's not really going to be working for you. But yes, it's about practice. So like it's no age group. There's no age limit. Just in terms of how our body works, we know that the body, you know, we start slowing down from the age of 35. You know, we're not like we were when we was in our teens or early 20s, and we don't want to go out anymore on a whim. We need a plan before we leave our house. No, I'm not coming with you unless you tell me where we're going. Exactly. You know, so once you start getting a bit older, I would say definitely people need to increase their yoga, Qigong, Tuina, Tai Chi, whatever it is they're doing, because you know that energy is starting to wane, and we also want to make sure that we preserve our longevity and that we have a happy, healthy life in our 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100s. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
And how long do you have to practice for? Can you do 10 minutes a day, but do it 3 times or whatever? Or how long do you recommend to spend time practicing on it?
If you have like no limitations, like I could literally while away my whole days in Qigong, I really could. But I have to go out to work and clean my house and look after my family and everything else. So even 10 minutes is good. It's like you say, even just doing the sun salutations, it's not a full set of yoga, but you know, you've done something.
It's for the day. It's for the day. Yeah.
So same with Qigong. If all you can do is your breathing, then just do your breathing. Right? If all you can do is a particular organ energy system that I've prescribed for you to work on, then just do that. Yeah. You know, and there's other ways to do it. This is a bit more advanced, but sometimes you can do your breathing and you're visualizing doing your Qigong. Yeah, but that's for the more advanced Qigong practitioner. But yes, there's different ways that you can work that Qi, that Kundalini, that Ra force. You understand? There's different ways that you can put that into play, because it's all energy at the end of the day. And what we know about meditation and visualization is the body takes it as real. So if you visualize something, and we've done this in our breathing session, if you visualize something, then you feel that energy in your body, don't you? You feel that ripple, you know, you feel that ripple of happiness. And that's how we know that the brain is so wonderful and a part of your healing.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
That's why we say, don't worry, be happy.
What I've noticed as well about Qigong, learning from you, is certain moves linked to certain organ parts as well. We'll talk about the sounds after, because I'm quite interested in the sounds, obviously. Me being sound, loving sound. But I've noticed, like, you'll say, right, today we're going to work on the kidneys, and there's certain Qigong moves that will get the kidneys going back to good health and stuff, or there'll be one working the liver and stuff like that. Could you talk a bit more about that, please?
Yeah, so we're looking at the kidney energy system, right, as a whole. So when you look at the kidney energy system, it's the kidney energy system is the one that we say is like your inheritance. So that's like the big energy that you came to Earth with. So if you imagine, like, if that's your inheritance, you don't want to be continually dipping into it, you know, because one day you wake up and your hand's scraping the bottom of your chest and there's nothing left. So we always want to augment that kidney energy system, which is to draw more energy in. Because without it, that's your foundation that's going to be a bit rocky. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we would do a few moves to augment that kidney energy system. And when you see deficiencies in the kidney energy system as a whole, people will sometimes have like weaker legs. Their legs may feel weak. They could have lower back pain. Sciatica is one as well. So anything that's kind of like in the legs, it kind of just gives us a keen little indicator, possibly a kidney energy system issue there. And that's what we would seek to rebalance in that way.
Okay. So talking about sounds, the sounds linking to the organs, that's a big part of Qi Gong. Can you explain to me about how these sounds help the functioning of each organ?
That's one of the things, because I think I told you that I'm working on starting a course, and I want to do like a teacher training course for Qi Gong. And the beginning is always with the healing sounds. That's like your entry into Qi Gong, I would say. And so the healing sounds work on all the energy systems. So you're looking at your liver, heart, spleen, stomach, lungs, and kidneys. So they call them the purification sounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're looking at sounds, your heart energy, the sound would be ha. Yeah. And then, so then your heart and then your spleen, stomach energy would be woo. And then your lung energy would be tss. And then your kidney energy would be shri. And then your liver energy would be shu. Okay? So that's the sounds. But you can also, and this is one of the things that you and I want to work on, isn't it? Is to put like a little Qi Gong, Alchemy Tones, little melody together for the organ energy systems, and that way you'd get that better vibration. Because I know you're doing your work on the 432 hertz as well, and that's something that definitely want to introduce.
That'd be beautiful, yeah, because it's so powerful. I remember when you taught us the moves and using the sounds with a particular move to do. Honestly, you feel it and that.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing. You talked about yin and yang. But what is yin and yang?
It's everything that's around us. So they could say yin yang is light, dark, high, low, male, female. So it's energy that we all possess: awake, sleep, soft, strong. Yeah,
internal, external, that kind of stuff.
External. So it's just a way to. Like if you're looking at Kemetic theology, they could say it's like Shu, Tefnut. So these are the two energetic so-called polarities that comes into making us as beings. Yeah. Hot, cold, light, dark as well. Those types of things. So, but the yin is always within the yang, and the yang is always within the yin, meaning you can't have two extremes, because if you do, then you kind of break or fall off the chart. Both always exist, one within the other. So I guess it's the best way to explain it would be like your sleep cycle. You're awake, you're sleeping. Yeah? You're sleeping, you're awake.
There's a sense of duality.
Absolutely. And that's what we try to do when we bring balance into whatever we're doing, essentially. So yin and yang is just that energy, those energies that we possess within us, and it manifests in literally everything that we do.
So when you said like the liver yang, did it mean like it was just too much external energy coming into the liver?
It was generating too much liver yang. So you have your liver yin. Right. So you have these different polarities in the body, and we do need to be external sometimes, but also we need to be internal. And that's what I mean, where you can't be external all the time, and you can't be internal all the time. Like you can't sleep forever.
True. Yeah.
And you can't be out there running forever, because you will have a breakdown. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best way to describe it, if I'm thinking about yin and yang, so if you imagine like a candle, right, and you've got that big wax of the candle,
Right.
so that candle wax would be your yin,
Okay.
right, and the flame would be your
Yeah.
yang. Exactly. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
your
So it's the balance. Yeah, it's too much
that's the
fire,
yin
the
and yang.
wax will drip down. So that balance.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So and this is why we, like I said, we work the kidney Qi Gong, because you need the yin, and I think what's happening in terms of what we see in terms of fitness and exercise, everything is yang.
Right.
You go to the gym, yang.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock at night, you're in the gym pushing weights, yang, right? You're going running, yang. Do you know what I mean? Everything is just yang. So there's and we've got Tai Chi out there, thank goodness. We've got yoga out there, thank goodness. But apart from those two things, what else is out there that is yin cultivation? Yeah. So like you said, everything's burning through that candle wax. Everything's burning through that yin. And like I said, when it gets to that point where, okay, there's nothing there. Because as long as you've got that wax, as long as you've got that substantial yin, you can always light that candle, right? You can blow the candle out, light it again, ding, you got that energy. If that yin is completely burnt down, so if that candle's literally burnt down and there's no wax left, you cannot light that yin. Sorry, you can't light the yang. So you need the yin to light the yang. The yang doesn't does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that kind of interdependability or something like that. I think
exactly. So we need that. We need that to be able to light our flame. So when you look at yin and yang, you look at the symbol of yin and yang, you always see a bit of light in the dark, a bit of dark in the light.
Yes, that sense of duality, isn't it? I love that.
Yeah.
Kind of the way of the cosmos, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think with Qi Gong, now that we know what Qi Gong is and it's beautiful, we need more of it in this world. Can you give the viewers a taster of something that they can take away? Maybe a beautiful breathing.
Let's do some breathing.
Yeah.
So I would say, come on then, folks. Let's get positioned. So if you want to sit in a chair, and bring yourself to the edge of your chair. Right, so your feet are flat on the floor, perpendicular to the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You've got that small little S curve just in the small of your back. Yeah. Right, and just roll your shoulders out. Nice big roll. That's it. And then all you're going to do is just place your hands on your lap, not pressing down, but just letting your hands just rest on your lap. And you're breathing in and out through the nose. And I want you to sink that breath into your lower abdomen. So when you breathe in, your stomach will come out like a balloon. And when you exhale, your stomach will fall inwards towards your spine. So breathe in, stomach expands like a balloon. And breathe out, stomach falls inwards towards your spine. So sinking that breath down in the lower abdomen at all times. So that's just the very rudiments of how we breathe. So let me take you through some breathing. So what I'd like you to do is on my count, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Deep breath in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. In and out. In and slowly out. And deep breath in, sinking that breath. And slowly out. in and out, relaxing your shoulders. And breathing in and out. And breathing in and out, relaxing your arms. And breathing in and out. And breathing in and out, relaxing your knees. And breathing in the peace and out gently. And breathing in and out, feeling peaceful and relaxed as you breathe in and gently out. And breathing in and softly out, releasing all the tension as you breathe in and out, and gently in and softly out. And keep the breathing going. And take a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. And then slowly open your eyes. And breathe normally and naturally now.
That was lovely. Thank you.
It is lovely, isn't it? See, the energy just changed.
It's so underrated, isn't it? It's so underrated. It's so simple.
What was that, 5 minutes?
5 minutes and already I feel reset, ready for the world.
So that's all it takes, you know, just get into your breathing. The world will be a better place.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's all right, my love.
Where can people find you to do Qi Gong courses, your Tween on? Where can people find you? And
goodness me,
your website.
All right. My courses for Qi Gong can be found on the Trainer Central site. I'll drop you a link so you can have that. And you can find me on Instagram at Senbisa.
Brilliant. Thanks. And I'll include all these details in the description anyway of the video so people can find you easily. Thank you so much, Tarze, for joining us and explaining what Qi Gong is. Hopefully that will give people a better understanding of what it is and where to find you if they want to attend classes and explore that. And obviously we know like what's next for you. You were saying you're going to put together some courses and stuff and some sounds as well. So there's some new exciting things coming your way. If there's anything you want to share, or
coming our way, because this is a piece of work we're doing together in terms of the sounds.
Really
sounds with the Qi Gong. It's going to be so superb.
Yeah, it's very powerful, very powerful.
We need to do a workshop, don't we? We need to do a workshop and some sort of event and get it out there to the public.
You need to get a real gong in there as well in your Qi Gong.
Yeah.
would be amazing and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. No, it's been great. Thank you.